Let's get the aircon going. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to leave. Mr. Young.
I was watching.
We broke it.
I go, oh no, man. This is not good. I thought we'll be here all day.
Chris, this is the very first program from GEMS, our inaugural program, and you've graciously come over to help launch this program, and bring in students and to share and to work with these guys for a week with us here in Spain. So how's it been, and what do you bring to the program? What are you getting from the program?
It's been a great week, an absolute great week. I thank you very much for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be your launching professor, whatever, a visiting Hollywood dude. I'd like to think that more importantly, the thing that I do that works the best for them is each and every one of them is in that room because they have carried in their heads and their hearts, in their minds, this dream of becoming, I guess you could say, the next John Williams or something. You know? They've fallen in love with film music, and they just can't imagine their lives not being a film composer, not dedicating themselves to that pursuit. But of course, you know, film composing is kind of like scary. It's like, not like if they got a degree in medicine or law, where there's an immediate need and they can get a job pretty quickly. So film composer, it's the competition stiff, and as a consequence, you know, often we will not listen to our hearts and be talked out of it by our brains. And so I think what I do the best in the program perhaps is to reconnect them to their hearts, in that I will not allow them to leave the classroom after whatever period of time I'm with them. In this case, it was 6 days, without them feeling like, you know, I'm inspired now. I believe this can happen. No, I know this can happen. What I need to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's kind of my favorite thing.
He's been very supportive. Talking before the recording session, give me small but very important tips because he knows the game.
The response I get from the student, the words they describe you as are transparent, joyful, funny, happy, intelligent, full of knowledge, and caring. You know, and those qualities, outside of being a composer, are quite difficult for somebody to have lots of. You know, and there's a whole bunch of. But you bring that joyful side, that compassionate side, that loving side, and you throw in some great craft skills. You know, we talk about keeping it simple. You talk about melody writing and how you can keep a very simple melody and how it can be successful. So how do you balance those things where you're really approachable and people want to be with you, and then you put in some really interesting class lessons? How do you find that balance works for you?
Well, like I say to the class when I first walk in the room, they may be oohing and ahhing and saying, oh, this is some Hollywood guy who's done all some big movies. But I always break the ice by saying, you know, I consider myself no more talented than you guys. We're all on the same plane here. The only difference between you and me is I've just had more experience. And because I've had more experience, more equipped to be standing in front of you than you in front of me. But it's not because you're less talented than me. I also point out to them, the one thing I would never have suffered this class through is you listening to my demo that I put out there when I was your age, 18 through 20, 21, 22. It was basically unlistenable. So my feeling is keep the door open for anyone who is passionate. That's what I love most, is someone who's really, like in love with film music and just can't shake it off, because that's exactly who I was. And because I teach at USC every year, I'm always in contact with young composers. So I never really have left that. I remember what it was like then, and I try to never lose sight of that. I understand. I think I still understand exactly what they're going through that would cause them to get to that place.
It was connecting with the students in a way that not a lot of people and teachers do.
Es una experiencia increíble, es que de verdad que es, yo creo lo mejor que me ha pasado ya en el mundo de la música.
I learned also a lot, and that's gonna help me in the future.
Your one-on-ones are really interesting because you look for originality, you look for passion, and you bring that out. A lot of them, they don't understand where that is within them at the moment, but you have a way of connecting with them, for them to realise that they have something there that is original, or in their creative writing, or they do have a passion and they do have self-belief. So you're good at connecting with those things. Tell us a bit more about the one-on-ones and what they're like for you.
I don't care where you are in your journey as a composer. I mean, in the program this year, we had a very young woman whose demo consisted of only one piece that she'd written for piano and cello. And I'm just using it as an example. One piece, one person at the beginning of this journey. You listen to someone's music. It may not be your cup of tea. Hey, it may be like someone who's just starting off, who's writing the first piece. But I bet you somewhere in there, even if it's just one measure or a group of notes, there's something that's alive, that you know, I call it vital music, something that is really musical, that's special, that is you know, it's like this little kernel, the seed is hidden, or diamond in the rough that's not been discovered, that just needs to be brought out and brought to their attention. So I swear, you know, Nigel, in every composer's music, if they're serious about it, if they are putting the time into it, if their passion is there, if they're committed to the work that's required, then why wouldn't I want to pay attention to what they're doing? They're genuinely looking for my input. I will find something in there that's worth them to pursue, because at the end of the day, yes, you're right. You know, what you're trying to do is bring something special to the table, and I try to find what it is that they may become and shed a light on that.
Hi, I'm Riccardo from Italy, Milan, and I just came out from the one-on-one meeting with Chris, and he gave me many ideas about how to make my music work with the picture, because I'm mainly a classical composer, so I have a lot to think about now.
You value, you know, our contemporary composers, but you realise that we don't need to replicate. You know, we don't need Hans, we don't need another Hans Zimmer, we don't need another John Williams. We have them, that's fine. We need new people to take the industry forward. And that's something that you bring, particularly I've noticed in the classroom, when you're critiquing the main titles.
Right.
That you bring a sense of self-worth to their work. You say you don't have to be like, be original and be yourself and take the industry forward. You know, don't repeat the industry, don't be a temp track, be a new track. What would you say to people who might want to do this program in the future?
I would say anyone who's looking into this program is doing it because they either have fallen in love with film music or they're in the process of falling in love with music. But they're kind of, because here they are not in Hollywood, which is where, let's face it, the core center of film music is. You know, what is this really all about? I'm confused, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm kind of lost, and mom and dad think I'm crazy, that I'm falling in love with movie music. It's impractical. What I love about this class, and why I'm suggesting they look into the program. Number one is you show up, and on the very first day, you're introduced to 16 composers who were in the exact same spot as them. Okay? They came from different parts of the world, and guess what? You're not alone. Isn't that the greatest feeling? All of a sudden, you find that you're in a room with people going through the exact same thing you're going through. So that's the great thing about it, is that you immediately will feel the warmth of being in a community of like-minded people who are trying to move forward in their lives in this kind of weird, wonderful world of film music. And the wonderful thing about the program is that in this very short period of time, everyone gets to know each other, and really some serious friendships are formed. And I noticed they were all, at the recording session, they were all working together as a team. They want the other person to succeed. This is not a competitive environment. You don't have to worry about coming to the program and thinking that you're going to get laughed at. You know, anyone who's serious, anyone who gives their time, deserves our attention.
The week was amazing. He's a great teacher. He's a really great teacher, and he's hilarious also. I learned a lot. The tips that he teaches, I think I'm gonna use it for the rest of my life.
Now, what did you think of this arc that we have with you coming in, delivering your program, and the students working on a main title with you, presenting that to you, and then taking that journey a step further where they got a chance to record live musicians in a studio with a producer in a space like we are today? How did that work for you? Is that something that you think is attractive to a young musician coming in?
I can't think of a better sort of road path to follow. For some of these people, this is the first time I've ever recorded with live musicians in the same room at the same time. Most of them are just at the computer, you know, using samples and programming acoustic sounding music, but no live instruments. So this is a great experience for them. Everyone walked out with a smile on their face because they got to hear musicians playing their music, some, as I said, for the first time. Now, in terms of the layout of my class, yes, I come in, my big obsession is wanting to bring to their attention the fact that throughout the short history of film music, it seems to have been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that thus far, when we look back, so many of the best scores, the ones that we admire, are held together by one or more very memorable themes that are then put through a series of variations.
What stood out for me was just Chris's dedication to everything. He's an incredible person to have in the room.
Lo que he aprendido, o sea, primero, no, creo que lo más importante es que he conocido a Christopher Young y para mí ha sido en plan lo mejor.
Hemos puesto mi canción ayer por la mañana en clase y Christopher está todo el rato.
When I had the one-to-one with Chris, he told me something really, really good. I mean, he knows how to motivate people. I'm gonna carry that words with me the rest of my days.
The world that I was raised in, the composers that I studied with, the ones that they studied with who were interested in film music, all valued the true meaning of melodic scores. So that's my obsession. I try to get them to focus on writing melodies that are instantaneously memorable. This is not an easy thing. So, you know, write a melody, yeah, we can write a melody, but a melody that we all can remember after one listening, not so easy. So it's a pretty, you know, it's a tough assignment, even though it's a very simple assignment. I just have them write in song form, intro, A, B, A, basically. Then after they've done that, after they've written something, and I have them write a tune in that preordained structure, I give them chords that they have to work against, so they're forced to think simply. We have the class sing their themes back. They play them for the class once, then the class has to sing them back. They learn pretty quickly whether or not they've written a catchy tune or not. Then I give them a main title sequence from one of the movies that I've worked on, different styles from science fiction, fantasy, romantic thrillers, comedy, drama. And they get to pick the movie that they're most comfortable with. And then they write a main title sequence that's utilized in the same concept of song form or some permutation of song form. But most importantly, they're trying to write a tune that is dramatically appropriate, that everyone can remember, like the great tunes of the great movies of yesteryear.
Christopher has been amazing. That is so clear in his so specific, so, well, amazing.
It's an incredible class. I've seen it before, and every time I'm spellbound. This was no exception today. We had an amazing experience, and
Yes.
Chris, I've got to say, first of all, thank you for your kindness, your generosity of spirit, and your hope that you bring, and the joy that you bring to these people. Your knowledge and your craft skills and your experience in the industry is overall the happiness that you bring in, and the smiles that they leave with.
That's
for me is everything. So,
Yeah,
Chris, I want to say a big thank you,
thank you.
from me and from them,
Oh.
and we can't wait to hear the next score, the next Christopher Young score. We're looking forward to it, as we always
Thank you,
do.
thank you, my friend.
Chris,
Thank you, my friend. Until we meet
Sincerely.
again,